Update. My stepdad said he is proud of me and I panicked. Original post. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 12 because dad cheated on my mom with her sister. Mom kicked dad out of the house and requested full custody. He didn't even contest it because he wanted to be with his mistress at that time. I dreaded going to their house on weekends. I didn't recognize the man who was supposed to be my father. He and his mistress were too clingy in front of me. I was 15 when I decided to just stay with mom and visit him once or twice a month. He didn't mind. To him, I do not exist. By then, my mom started to date Jack. He was a single dad of 2 girls who are much younger than I am. They are now 10 and 11. Jack has always tried to bond with me, but I shut him down. He came to all my games and PTA meetings. He was an active member in my life. I didn't want anything to do with him. I didn't mind he was dating my mother, but I just didn't want any relationship beyond that. I am now 18 and graduated high school with the highest honors. I was asked to give a speech, and after the ceremony, my mom and stepsisters came to congratulate me. Then my stepfather came and said, "That was so good." I almost teared up after hearing your speech. "I'm so proud of you, son. I'm glad that I have a son like you." I don't know why, but hearing him say he is proud of me just made me shocked. Probably because my own dad never said that to me. He didn't even bother showing up at my graduation ceremony. I just left the premise with the excuse of bathroom, but I was panicking. I also feel guilty for pushing him away when all he ever wanted was be a father in my life. What do I do now? Say thank you? Give him a high five? Write a speech? Now for the top advice before reading the update. Would you feel comfortable in confiding in your mom what you wrote here? Maybe you can ask her for suggestions on how to proceed to form a better relationship with your stepdad. If you're not comfortable with talking to your mom, you can suggest doing something with just your stepdad. Just the 2 of you. A walk, ice cream, coffee, lunch, etc. Get to know him and let him know what he said to you after your speech meant a lot. That you hope you can continue to make him proud and that you can appreciate him being a part of your life. I'm glad you realize how awesome your stepdad is. Oftentimes, we read how the stepchild hates the stepparent for no reason. When you became older, you will realize that the most important people in your life are those who love, care, value, and respect you, not the ones you have the most fun with. Your stepdad sounds like he truly loves you. Value is love. It's too late to form a relationship. I deliberately chose a college in another state because I just wanted to be alone. Now I regret it. I gave the excuse that school has a better science program. It's never too late to form a relationship. He is still trying with you. You have opened the door into your heart. Walk through it and connect. He and your mom understand you have a wall up because of the rejection by your father. It is okay. You can take a small step and talk with him and tell him how you feel. You will grow a relationship even if you are out of state. I think you've hit the nail on the head here. OP's stepdad knows what issues you have and is still trying and showing you love, despite your rejection to open up to it. Accepting the love in any way, shape, or form will fill stepdad with pride, rather than suddenly stop caring, which I imagine is OP's irrational fear. They're willing to show love and persist when you're not ready, and they will continue to do so after you are. Now for the update. So yesterday was my graduation party. The day after I posted here, I did talk to my stepdad. I said thank you to him, and also explained my side of the story that I panicked. Because this is the first time I ever heard someone say they're proud of me. He was happy. I further decided to take a step forward to our new relationship. You see, my stepdad has been asking me to teach him how to use TikTok and record in it. He is not really tech savvy. I opened an account for him and showed him how to use it. He wanted to make TikToks with my mom, lol. I even asked him if he can teach me how to ride a bike. I've been eager to learn it. And he said he will go bike shopping right after my party. The party was great, but there was a drama caused by my sperm donor. I didn't want to invite him, but my mom insisted since he is my dad, I should at least send an invitation. I wasn't expecting him to show up, and that man had the audacity to bring his mistress with him. I was angry, but my mom told me to just ignore them. That's what I did. I didn't interact with him. But he somehow managed to corner me and said congratulations. His mistress tried to congratulate me, but I just turned away. Halfway through my party, I was asked to give a speech. I wanted to show my appreciation to my stepdad. That was my speech was about. I thanked my mom and my stepdad for all the hard work they have done, and also appreciated my stepdad for being there for me when I needed a father figure. Needless to say, it angered my sperm donor, and he wanted to know why I never mentioned him. I asked him what my age is. He mumbled and gave excuses. There was a fight between me and him. I exploded on him, that he basically abandoned me and my mom when we needed him. He is a very shameless man parading his mistress in front of Mom, knowing this is Mom's sister. I do not need his approval for anything. He never played a part in my life, so why should I thank him? The fight was big. My uncle had to step in and kick both of them out. My mom felt guilty because she was just trying to do the right thing. I know she has this eagerness to do what's right, but she can be wrong sometimes. If I'm being honest, I'm glad he came and saw that he has no place in my life. His only child will never speak to him ever again. I'm glad he saw my mom was 100 times happier with my stepdad than she was with him. I'm glad his mistress came and saw none of our family members want to accept them. I enjoyed the rest of the party with my friends and family. My stepdad decided that we would go on a short trip before going to college. I told him I will look for an option to transfer my credit to a closer college so that we can be closer to home. He encouraged me to not do that because the college I chose does have a good science program and good reputation for engineering. Plus, he said I need to leave the nest to learn how to survive in real world and told me to not worry about them. He is just one phone call away. I am super glad. Even though it took me a while, I will cherish the remaining days with my stepdad and siblings. My mom felt guilty because she was just trying to do the right thing. I know she has this eagerness to do what's right, but she can be wrong sometimes. Yep, there was no right thing to do. Hopefully she's learned and she won't be pushing you to, I don't know, invite him for your future wedding or to meet your future kids, etc., etc. I'm glad that apart from that, your mom and your stepdad have been amazing to you. I'm glad that I saw my mom was 100 times happier with my stepdad than she was with him. I'm glad his mistress came and saw none of our family members want to accept them. Best revenge is to live a better life. I bet your dad will dump his mistress because they don't look as good as he thought. I do not blame Mom. She wants to do what's good for me. I sent the invitation before the graduation ceremony. I wasn't expecting him to show up. The stepdad sounds like a great guy. I'm glad OP has him in his life. I hope they're able to bond more. I teared up when stepdad told him to stick with his plan of going away to school so he can learn independence. That's damn good parenting. Great advice and just damn good stepdad. I need to go cry now. Stepdad really seems to understand he came into the life of a kid who had every reason to be wary of him, at a time when the kid was naturally disengaging from parental figures. I'd allow the kid his space and not taking the kid's attitude personally. We need more men in the world who have that kind of maturity and awareness. I just tried a post about the sociopathic father/baby. I needed this. Next story. My kids are going on a cruise and I'm upset about it. My ex and I split 8 years ago. We have 2 boys, aged 10 and 12. They live with her 1,200 kilometers from me and they travel to spend school holidays with me. Half of Christmas and Easter, but entirety of every other school holiday. We split because, well, she screwed me over in a bunch of ways. But our relationship had been on the rocks for a while, and it was clear I was the only one trying to salvage it. It's a long, depressing story for another time, perhaps. She married an accountant who, as far as I can tell from what the kids tell me, is a decent enough dude. Pretty wealthy. The kind of guy who takes his wife on holidays around the world 3 times a year. Suits her just fine, as she just schedules their getaways for school holidays, which is fair enough. He is standoffish with me in the limited interactions I've had with him, but I find it hard to blame him as I can only imagine the things his wife has told him about me if the lies she told to family court are any sort of indication. I've rebuilt my life pretty well, and I'm now doing better financially than ever before. My work is demanding, but if I had a time, I'd probably be close to being able to afford a couple of holidays a year myself. Because of this, and the fact that I've racked up an insane number of days off, and also to celebrate some postgraduate accomplishments and business successes, I've started thinking about treating myself and my kids to a holiday away when they're with me. I discussed the subject with my ex and the kids at Christmas just past. She agreed to get them their passports and I'd arrange everything by Easter. To book a cruise for just after next Christmas when I had the boys for 3 weeks. They wanted to go on a cruise, entirely my kids' idea. Well, alright. Bonus is, I have had some dealings with a particular cruise line through my company and could even save some money. Not that it's really an issue. The top picks were New Zealand and Vanuatu. Excellent, everything is coming together. Until tonight when I have my weekly call and find that my ex and her husband have booked a huge family getaway on a cruise to Vanuatu for Christmas. As in, they'll be at sea during Christmas. And because of that, the schedule for me having the kids is cut short by 3 days because they have to go back to school. Not only do I miss out on spending 3 days with my kids, instead of 3 weeks, it'll be 2 weeks and 3.5 days. It may not seem like much, but every minute is precious as far as I'm concerned. But that's just stolen this whole holiday idea. She knew I was planning it. The kids were in on it and excited to do it with me. And they've just swooped in and stolen my thunder. They've even gone with a different, much flashier and expensive cruise line. And she got the boys to tell me on speakerphone. They were so excited and happy that I couldn't say anything but play along and be enthusiastic for them. It was supposed to be our holiday, my boys and I. But how am I supposed to do it now? Who wants to go on a luxurious cruise for a couple of weeks, then do another one immediately afterwards to the same place but on a less luxurious ship? I feel like they intentionally waited for me to make arrangements, found out what I was planning, and then went out of their way to one-up me in every way. I just want to have a good time with my boys. I don't have any interest in these stupid games. I can't help but notice that my child support payments don't seem to be being spent on new shoes, underwear, or clothes or extracurriculars for the boys too. They used to do soccer and gymnastics, but she's stopped taking them because it cut into her afternoon relaxation time. I'm just gutted and tired. It's not hard to not be a prick. That is genuinely cruel of your ex. Keep your eyes on the prize, your kids. Don't let them deal with the reality. When they're older, they will notice. God bless. Can confirm, they will absolutely notice. Taking the high road now is difficult and painful, but they will eventually be able to figure out your ex is a nasty piece of work. Can you find something else to do? Skiing or a big theme park or just a new city that offers a lot for all of you? Wishing you luck and strength. They may not notice and may take the mother's side when they are adults and not give a damn about OP. OP needs to be the higher person because it's the right thing to do for his kids, and it also increases the likelihood the boys will see the truth one day. But odds are they won't. The mother has shown she's manipulative, and she's by far the primary caregiver. The fact she pulled this stunt is a sign she is for some reason fighting OP for the kids' affection in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong though. As someone who worships my deadbeat mom and all the lies she promised, they will see it. I don't remember much from my childhood, but I remember enough to go no contact with my mother. I'm afraid that is not given. If there is no outright abuse and the alienation is discreet but constant and well done, odds are it will work. People on Reddit like to say that kids will always end up seeing through parental alienation and BS, and all will be well in the end, but that's not always the case unfortunately. Last story. My husband won't let me parent my stepdaughter while borderline neglecting her. I, 37 female, have been married to my husband, 40 male, for 2.5 years now. He has a daughter, 15 female, with his ex, and they share 50-50 custody. However, he has consistently made bad decisions when it comes to parenting. First of all, she has been raised to be entitled and lazy. If I ask her to do something as simple as setting the table for dinner, feeding the dog, or bringing down her hamper for laundry, she almost always makes up an excuse. Sometimes as simple as, I'm on the phone with my friends or I just don't want to. She helps out with nothing around the house. It truly ticks me off how I have all the responsibilities of being a parent, but his word is still always over mine. I have to cook for her, do her laundry, and take her out to learn to drive. But if I dare say no to her, I'm the bad guy. I said no to her spending the night with her friend on a Friday because she had gotten a 64 on a test earlier that week and needed to study for a retake. My no, overruled. I'm also very often kept in the dark. For example, I will come home from work to find out that she is at a friend's house without any prior knowledge. If she wants to come home from school with a friend, she just texts him, and I have no knowledge until I get home. A couple weeks ago, I came from a client dinner to find out that she was at a concert with friends and one of their parents. This was on a school night, Thursday night, and they did not get home until after midnight. She was obviously tired the next day, and they just planned to allow her to skip school. All of this without my knowledge. The last straw happened yesterday though when I found out that she and 3 friends plus one of their dads were planning to go down to Florida over their spring break. When I found out, my alarm bells immediately went off. How the heck he thought a grown adult taking multiple underage girls to a whole nother state is all fine and dandy and cool is way beyond me. Especially when he barely freaking knows this guy. When I asked if he had done any sort of background check or look into this guy, he said no. But even more insanely, he had not talked to his ex, and he said that he would next week. He justified it by saying that the trip would fall on this week, so it was his decision. At this point, I'm 90% sure I'm done. The only reason I'm staying is to protect our daughter. I'm gonna reach out to her bio mother and see about what the next steps are. Your soon-to-be ex is likely divorced for the same reasons you're going to divorce him. Just know that your child will likely be in the same boat. Proceed with caution. His ex is not your ally. Sometimes it could turn out well and they could have shared interests and complain about a guy. I've seen this. But here, if the daughter is this awful, I would bet the mom is a bum too. Stop doing everything for her and let her have natural consequences. She's old enough to be doing most of these things herself. She won't do her laundry, then she won't have clean clothes. She won't feed a dog, don't get any more pets. Won't help with dinner, then she will have to make her own food. She won't help around the house, don't take her driving. Don't drive her to her friend's house. Who cares if you're the bad guy or look like the bad guy? Lay down the law with your deadbeat husband or leave him. It's very clear he doesn't want you to have a role in parenting his kid, so then don't. Stop worrying about her grades or how she'll get to school. Tell him that. This. If a 15-year-old is deemed mature enough to venture to other states with adult strangers, they are certainly old enough to wash their own clothes and cook their own food. Stop assuming responsibility for things that stepdaughter is able to do for herself. I would go completely hands-off and let her dad deal with it all. Doesn't have dinner? Talk to your dad. Doesn't have clean washing machine is right there. Doesn't take care of their dog? Speak to them about surrendering pup to a shelter to find a loving home. Doesn't clean up after themselves? Their room is the perfect place to store their dishes, etc., etc. You're not a parent, you're a slave. Let dad deal with all of it. Do not lift a finger to help. When he raises a protest, which he will, speak about divorce.